Hello and welcome everyone to this Warcraft replay here. It's been a while since I've last cast. It's been just about over 2 weeks. Whoopsies. Yeah, I've been finding less and less time, honestly, to be casting these. So yeah, I'll just give you guys a 2v2. It's been a while since I've casted a 2v2. So let's hope I don't stumble too much this game. This is from the recent Douyu Yule Cup, the 2v2 section. I'm pretty sure they had, I'm not sure if Season 2, I don't actually know when Season 2 happened, but yeah, they do both 1v1s and 2v2s. So lots of big names actually participating in this 2v2. It's very exciting to see. Yeah, let's just get to it. We have on the map Bridge Too Near, the lighter version. I have not casted this map before, but it looks like it might be a long game. We have spawning in on the blue side. We have, I believe this is WFZ. Yep, WFZ as the blue undead player on the right side of the map. His teammate playing as the orc is going to be Yumiko, who is not playing his main race, the humans, today. He has been playing a lot of orc ever since the... Actually, no, was that true? I think... Gosh, I can't remember now, but I do know that Yumiko did jump races. I think it was to Night Elf, to be honest, but I could be mistaken. It could have been to Orc, but yeah, he's playing again as the Orc player this time around. Surprisingly, we're gonna have a mirror, Orc Undead. So on the left side we have Fly spawning in as the red Orc player here, and his ally is going to be Lyn, who of course is an Orc player, but is going to be randoming this tournament, so that is pretty exciting. It actually lands undead, so let's see how this mirror is going to go. It seems like the blue side's just going to be splitting their... I was going to say they were going to split duties on harassment and farming. It looks like... looks like the orc players are just going to be trying to go for some harassment. Meanwhile, the undead trying to get that early levels down. We do have a bit of a difference here from the undead side. We have Death Knight versus Dreadlord. Meanwhile, both orc players actually went for their Farseers. Farseers, pretty strong pick, especially in multiplayer games. I would imagine we should be seeing a Tauren Chieftain come out second as well, because I know that TC is extremely good in 2v2s as well. Early Troll Headhunters here from Yumiko. Meanwhile, we do have a fast tech from WFZ. I think Yumiko also went for quick tech as well, as yes, he did indeed do so. On the side over here for Lyn, he did opt to go for a fast expand, so that is why he's a bit delayed on his tier 2. But yeah, it looks to be a pretty scary start here from the red side. Dreadlord is also one of those pretty popular picks for multiplayer, because his sleep is just, well, it's an extremely useful tool, especially when you have access to a second army who could basically lead you to power farm the entire map. And of course, I imagine Vampiric Aura should be useful here. Not too sure, because unfortunately W3 Booster isn't well equipped to deal with 2v2s, so yeah, I might have to switch over perspectives just to check what abilities he have. But it's probably just Carrion Swarm. Let's just check quietly. No, he's actually holding on to that point, so we don't know what his second ability is. But looks like the blue side's going to be pretty aggressive here. Already hit level 2 on his Death Knight, still level 1 on his Farseer, but is going to try to go for that Haunted Goldmine. Obviously the primary target here, because this would give a little bit of an edge towards the blue side, the red side I mean, giving a bit of econ to Lyn and Fly. Death Knight did take quite a beating though, so he is going to be forced to TP back home, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately for Lin, his gold mine did get forced cancelled there, so yeah, not the best of outcomes there for the red side. At least he is going to pick up a couple of free kills as well as burning a TP scroll on his opponent, but yeah, now that Lin is behind in terms of just overall progression, because Fly is going to go for fast tech, or just straight tech. He is going to be kind of the, the weak link here for the red side. Meanwhile, over here on the blue side, yeah, they're just powering through. No fast tier 3 for WFZ worth noting, as we do have a turn totem coming down for Yumiko. Forgive me for being a little bit all over the place, it's just very hard to keep track of everything. Level 3 on the Dreadlord here. Still no aura, so we might just have that Carrion Swarm. Yep, level 2 Carrion Swarm there. Obviously, since the changes to being able to do damage to mechanical things, its value has gone up pretty nicely. And I don't think I've casted a 2v2 where Carrion Swarm got buffed. But we are going to have a bit of a counterattack here. TP Scroll coming in from Yumiko's side, yes indeed. There we go with the Carrion Swarm, almost two-shotting those headhunters. Needs to be careful about his grouping there. The Pit Lord trying desperately to get into Howl of Terror range, but he's being body blocked by his own units for the majority of that while. So yeah, is gonna be able to push his opponent back. We do have a Frost Nova coming through, but a Speed Scroll also being used there to get those red units back home. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to have any more losses here, although Fly is positioning his units to a very curious place. He is actually going to corner himself, and both the blue armies there are going to pick up a couple more units. Howl of Terror is going to be cast onto the red Trolled Headhunters. Another Carrion Swarm is going to come through, picking up another Headhunter, but unfortunately, Fly did lose quite a bit there. A couple of Headhunters as well as TP Scroll being burnt. Yeah, not the best of decisions from him, to be fair. Fortress Tech is on its way for Fly. A bit risky considering his opponent, his ally, is not able to properly match up against the blue side here. His expansion is about to be completed. Ziggurats as well as the Necropolis is about to be completed as well. Turn Chieftain coming out as Fly's second hero. I'm pretty sure we should be seeing second hero for WFZ as well, unless we already... never mind, we did see it with the Lich. My mistake there. We do have a Surround on the Dreadlord, which is a bit of an oddity. It's going to go for a Carrion Swarm, but is not going to be enough to kill any units. Scroll of Healing is going to try its best to heal up those the blue units there, as the Greater Healing Potion did get used by the Dreadlord. Still not going to be enough. Is going to be forced to TP back to the main base. Meanwhile, this expansion is pretty vulnerable now. The Spirit Tower is almost done, but it is being focus fired here. Plenty of units on the side of the blue player. Meanwhile, Turn Chieftain does not have War Stomp. He does have his Endurance Aura as his first ability, so he's not going to provide too much value here. Howl of Terror once again coming through. Yumiko, I mean, very nicely done with the Pit Lord choice as the second option, but losing that Farseer might have been a bit of a mistake. Another Howl of Terror is going to come through, as I believe the blue side probably should retreat. Is going to go for that Kodo Beast, but once that guy goes down, I'm pretty sure Yumiko and WFZ should retreat here, although I say that, Fly's Turn Chieftain's a bit out of position. He is going to be able to run away there. I'm surprised that the blue side did not actually exploit that mispositioning from the Turn Chieftain, but
player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, it is very difficult to coordinate two separate players into a surround. But yeah, it seems like Yumiko and WFZ is going to actually keep forward with this aggression. Another nice Carrion Swarm there onto the majority of those units. Level 2 Carrion Swarm, obviously you would want that big level 3 one, but It's definitely not something you should ignore. Here comes another wave. Although with the Obsidian statues, it does negate a little bit of that AoE damage. Oh, we do have the Berserker upgrades there, so let's see if that early tier 3 from Fly is going to be that crucial in this fight. We do have a Death Knight coming out from Lin, but yeah, I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out. Turn Chieftain actually going right after that Farseer. He did get that War Stomp down as well as a full Invone, so he did kind of prevent his death for a good while there, but Death Knight on Lin's side is going to go down as well. Not sure if that was a worthwhile trade for the blue side. Gonna have a reveal there onto a Burrowed Crypt Fiend as well, so I think we did lose a lot more on WFZ's side. He did lose a lot of spiders compared to his opponent. I mean, Lin's been so low supply that I don't even know if any of his units were in that fight, but apparently he is 45 supplies, so probably just underestimated that. We also 45 for Fly, Yumiko, and WFZ are... I mean, WFZ's a little bit ahead, but Yumiko did suffer quite a bit of casualties there. Looks like we're just going to be transitioning into the standard Raider Spirit Walker comp. I was hoping we might see something more interesting from Yumiko, but oh well. WFZ also going pretty standard here. Temple of Dand is on the way, so at least it's fairly early on in this game. Definitely need to deal with that War Stomp as well as Carrion Swarms from the red side here. We do have a Crypt Lord popping out from WFZ as well, so maybe that added crowd control with the Impale should prove to be pretty useful. I mean, that's basically what Undead in multiplayer games should be, just add a utility rather than like pure power. They will go with a nice Impale there, but a Carrion Swarm did do a decent amount of damage on the blue side. Here we go with a big fight here. Berserk is going to be activated from the Headhunters of Fly, going straight after Yumiko's Kodo Beast. Thanks to the Frost Armor though, it did actually survive quite a long time and still manages to live, so it is going to provide that attack buff for a little while longer. This is not looking good for the red side, I would say, but we do have an Impale onto the Tauren Chieftain there. Will he go down? He is down to, oh wow, he was down to 200 HP, but with a quick bit of burst from the Lich as well. He is going to go down at level 2. Dreadlord also dropping severely low. Howl of Terror is doing very nicely in reducing the attack damage of those Troll Berserkers as well. Kodo Beast is going to go down on Fly's side, as he is going to lose a couple more Berserkers as well. I'm pretty sure Lin... Oh yeah, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really notice that many units on Lin's side. Although that's probably just because of the very, very unfortunate circumstance of both players being the same color. Although to be fair, one player is a little darker. Like this is dark red, this is bright red. But still, I kind of preferred the old version where it was like red and orange versus like blue and teal. But here comes another fight here. Ensnare onto the Farseer. He does have TP scroll and he's actually going to burn it immediately, which is definitely not good. It is going to force Lin to also go for the TP scroll as well, but it seems like he did do it a little bit late and his Lich is going to die for that, so that is rather unfortunate. But yeah, that was just really good timing from the blue side there. So tier 3 for Yumiko, I believe we're tier 3 for WFZ as well, so both teams are all tier 3. Are we actually going to go for anything major with actual tier 3 units? I'm not sure about that. WFZ is going to claim another middle base as well. Meanwhile, Yumiko is sticking to that one base, even though there are bases in the corner where you could take advantage of. So we might see that in play a little bit later, we shall see. But yeah, we do have a shade on WFZ's side, so there is a possibility for seeing some Frost Rooms here, but we are just going to be picking this exposed position from Lin. He is going to be forced to TP once again. Lich is going to die. That is just rather unfortunate. But yeah, basically ganging up on Lin here. Meanwhile, Fly looks like he is going to try to go for a counterattack. I'm not sure if that is the smartest of choices, because clearly two players can burst down a base a lot quicker than one, so I don't know what Fly is going to do here. He is actually going to just try and defend his ally's base as well. Let's see how well this is going to turn out. Yumiko might lose himself a Kodo Beast, actually. Definitely a bit of a misposition there, but to be frank, with the amount of juicy picks that the blue side has gotten on Lin, I guess losing a Kodo Beast here and there is not going to be too bad. Although both teams burning TP scrolls is a bit odd. I'm pretty sure WFZ could have just ran away, but oh well. We do have Masses training on those Banshees, which is kind of worth noting, because I mean, if you have enough Banshees, you might just go straight up possessing some units. Hex onto a Raider here is gonna go ensnare, as well as just, yeah, getting picked off. Yumiko, not sure how much he can actually prove with himself. Oh, we do have some. Do actually have some turn warriors now. We are going for double turn totems for Yumiko. This is, well, it's at least a step in the right direction. Pulverize is also going to be completed on the research. WFZ, are we going to go for anything interesting on your side? I guess not. No Frost Rooms this time around, it seems. Although, to be frank, Frost Rooms would be pretty weak against this kind of matchup. Yeah, because you're dealing with both Crypt Fiends and Raiders, so actually does... yes, Fly does have a couple of Raiders there, so yeah, Ensnare and Webs are a thing.
A player's forces are under attack.
Main gold mines on both sides are going to clear out. That's interesting. We are only at 17 minutes. I guess the gold mines on this map is a lot less gold. Huh, interesting. But that does mean that Fly and Yumiko have to find a base pretty quickly. We are going to have that Great Hole being placed down on the top here. I believe that was just a pocket Great Hole. So, yeah, Fly's going to be in this game a little longer. Yumiko, on the other hand, I guess he's also going to try and place down a Great Hole as well. Have no idea where it is, but I'm pretty sure that's the idea coming with him. Wow, 4 turns on the ground here. Bit of harassment from Lin, but I don't think that's going to amount to too much. I mean, there are no acolytes here, so it's not like... Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. They were actually pulled out, probably from that Carrion Swarm that the Dreadlord was tossing. The Shade is going to spot that, so... yeah, we'll be able to pull his acolytes as soon as he sees it. Here comes the Dreadlord once again. Is going to go for that Carrion Swarm. I guess WFZ is not too attentive on that front. But his acolyte's just going to get healed up with the Ascending Statues anyway. Another Carrion Swarm on the way. Honestly, if no acolytes go down, then I guess it's pretty worth trading like 3 or 4 Carrion Swarm casts. I guess this is what Yumiko is going for, just long distance mining rather than placing down that Great Hole. Direwolves are going to be sent to constantly harass those peons, but I mean, I don't know why Yumiko's not placing down that Great Hole instead. Definitely less efficient. We have another expansion on the top right here, as well as the bottom right here, from both respective undead players. So this game's gonna go on a little longer. Army supply wise, we have Yumiko at 62, WFZ at 69. Meanwhile, Lin and Fly are at 78 and 58 respectively. Wow, Lin, who's been down a little bit for like the first half of this game, is now skyrocketed to the highest supply army out of all players, which is rather interesting. Curious what his main bulk is. Just a couple of only a single A-bomb, a couple of statues and destroyers. We do have 2 A-bombs actually, as well as just Script Fiends, so it looks like the undead players have been pretty mirrored. Meanwhile, the Orc side has been a bit different. We are gonna have a Witch Doctor on the way here. Great Hole's finally gonna get placed down, but these wolves have done quite a bit of damage, in fact. It's gonna take down a couple more peons here. But anyway, Witch Doctor. Once that Master's Training is done, I think that they would be a lot more useful than Turrets, but I mean Turrets are just nice in general as well, just being able to provide a decent amount of damage as well as tanky, beefy front line. Yes, a little bit of a downside on multiplayer games if you are an undead player, because there's just so many units to green shield that it might just not be worth doing it on everyone, which I guess is what both sides are actually thinking as well. Just bubbling the key targets here. Sentry Ward has been spotted thanks to the shade. But yikes, the red army looks pretty meaty. 65-80, 73-64, so about 10 supply ahead for the red side. And I hate to say it, but I do kind of like I kind of like Fly's composition more than Yumiko's. We're just lacking on those shaman, but that's probably a little too much. Witch Doctors at Master's Training should be enough to handle things here.
A player's forces are under attack.
Frenzy Ghouls, just being an absolute menace, are gonna bring his own Frenzy Ghouls to try and deal with this, but honestly, almost being able to take down that gold mine was, I mean, it would have been nice. Maybe Lin should have actually fully committed to that, but maybe he has other plans for these Frenzy Ghouls. The blue side's been here forever now. They are going to be a bit slow on the rotation here, but I think that might be what Lin and Fly wants. Have to see. I mean, unit collision is so awkward in this game. We do have a shade being spotted there by the Sentry Ward, is gonna go down. So very little intelligence now for the blue side. We do have a Dark Range coming out as the third and final hero here for Yumiko. She does have silence. I'm not sure if it's going to be too useful because there's just so many units to silence. We are actually just gonna go straight to a siege here on Fly's base. Curious to see what the red side will choose to go for as well. It seems like they're just gonna go straight after a counterattack. Okay. So, well, the problem here is that it's Fly's main base that's being sieged. Meanwhile, Yumiko's expansion is, I mean, sure, it's going to be a devastating blow, but there's not much tech in this actual base, so I'm not sure how impactful losing that would be compared to Fly losing his actual main base. Well, I guess we're at the point where we basically don't need to produce any more units. Basically just play with what you got right now. 74 supply for Fly, and he's gonna keep that for the remainder of the game because his main base is just gonna get wiped out. TP scroll here on to Fly's expansion. Oh, he's actually going to choose to defend what is left. But the positioning's not that great. Having to come out of that bridge into WFZ, who's actually pretty ready for it. And Yumiko over here ready for this flank as well. Yeah, it's basically who gets the convicts, or the conclave in fact. This is not the best of positionings for the red side, however. Most of their backline units are at the front. Meanwhile, the abominations and whatnot are not really in position right now. But here we go, Carrion Storm going to get tossed once again, but the green bubbles are going to prevent that damage. We do have stasis traps on the field, which I do approve of very much so.
A town is under siege.
And you can see here that the red side's kind of egging his opponent on. Here comes the big battle. Impale, very nicely done to go for some couple of stuns on some of those berserkers there. We should hear berserk being activated, and yes, there it is. Howl of Terror also being used there, as well as a silence. Another pretty great impale from the blue side is going to stun a lot of those turns. But it looks like the blue side is the one to force the TP scrolls. We did have a stasis trap armed and ready, so yeah, kind of lucky on the blue side to have TP'd before that went off. So yeah, stasis traps probably could be the main reason why these fights will be won for the red side, because I mean, like, the fights are so hectic at this point in the game that it's so hard to keep track of all the stasis walls being placed down. That, like, if one or two stasis traps goes off, then, like, disabling half of your army, it might just be game ending. Right, 75 for WFZ. Yumiko is at 48. Meanwhile, we're at 90 supply for Lin, and about 72 still for Fly. I mean, this seems to be clear cut. I mean, keeping track of all the heroes and the army levels is kind of hard. +3, +2 for Fly, +2, I think, for +2, +1 for Lin. Meanwhile, Yumiko is currently at no upgrades, and WFZ is at +3, +0. Here we go with a big fight here. Scroll of Beast is going to be activated on the blue side, but right now it's the red army with the concave surrounding his opponent, a little ever so slightly. We need to see more impales coming in from the Crypt Lord just for that added crowd control, but the Torrent Chieftain is actually doing the job much better himself, going for that very devastating War Storm. Another impale is going to come down, but it might be a little too late. Lich is going to go down on WFZ side, and Yumiko might be losing himself the Farseer as well. There we go. GG from both sides here. I'm surprised that WFZ actually maintained the highest score, but wow. Ooh, I don't know what happened to Yumiko. His score lacked pretty badly this game. Yeah, maybe going for those turns wasn't the best of ideas. I think that he needed to maybe provide a little bit more utility. But honestly, I don't know. The game was so hectic that it was so hard to keep track of everything. But yeah, that is gonna be that. There was plenty of 2v2 games, so maybe I'll cast more. And maybe I'll try and get this rust off of me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys again next time. Take care.